Welcome to Din's Talk, the space where soul wisdom meets bold action. I'm Mia Dins, your host, here to ignite your fire, help you claim your power, and guide you to take unstoppable steps towards your dream. Every episode is designed to awaken your purpose, fuel your passion, and spark transformation in your life. It's time to step into your truth and never stop. Let's dive in.
I'm excited to have you on the podcast, Mia, because we're going to talk about something that I don't know a lot about, so I'm really curious. And we're going to speak about quantum embodiment. And because I don't know so much, maybe you can give me a bit of a description of what that actually means in real life so that my logical brain can understand something that I think, or in my opinion, might not be that logical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Firstly, thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm so excited that we get to talk about that. Quantum embodiment is my own method that I obviously developed through my own experiences and the experiences I had and have with people I work with. But basically, it is the meaning of we go deeper beyond the physical part of the body. We go in really deep into the energetic component that is still not looked at very much. And that basically means there could be unprocessed emotions, experiences stored in your body that you're not aware of. And this is what comes through this method. And that will actually help you then to resolve any ailments or anything that is going on in your physical body, if that makes sense. So basically, it's from the inside out, rather than trying to fix something from the outside through, for example, another mindset strategy, a workout, or a way of eating, whatever is out there. And this just developed because I was one of those people who was always looking to the outside, external, and giving my power away. And what it does, it actually enables anyone to really trust your own body, your own rhythm, because we all have a unique body, unique rhythm, unique needs. Yes, things are similar, and that is amazing, and we can relate. But at the end of the day, it is really important that you trust your own body, and that way you will get the body and the energy and whatever you desire, and have much more capacity for anything in your life, really. So basically, yeah, that's a little bit in a nutshell what that is about. Yeah,
it's so interesting. And really for me, it resonates a lot because in my own journey, there was a point when obviously those mindset shifts and productivity tools and certain ways of working, they did a part of, they helped in some way. But at some point I got to a point where it just didn't get further. And I discovered someone talking about embodiment and energy and even chakras and all these things that for me was a very different world from my really logical brain. I'm like, does that even make sense? Anyway, I dove into it because I'm a curious person, and I realized it really did something. And so really it cracked open this little box of, hey, you are very disconnected from your body, because I was the one who would just push through any little pain. No, you're strong, who cares? Do maybe some stretching, apply some cream or whatever, but it was like never listening to the body really. So if somebody listens to the podcast and they're very like, embodiment, I know I have a body, okay, but maybe it's disconnected from it. Where do we start?
Yeah, it's an amazing question. Yes, you pointed out 100% accurate. Most of the people are disconnected from their body. And that was my own experience. And it's so paradoxically, because I studied sports science, I have been an athlete, all my life since I'm 3 years old. And I would deal with the body and the mind and the emotions. You would think, oh, shouldn't she be connected? But paradoxically, the more I did that work, the more I disconnected, because I was giving my power away to the external, to certain programs, to follow the system, to do it that way and this way and only this way. And that is interesting because I was so conditioned to follow that and thought, like you, oh my gosh, pushing, briding myself, like, oh, I'm so strong, I can do it and I can push through pain. And of course, there is a certain part with an athlete, you go and push through certain pain compared to an average person. It's just part of doing that. But there's also I feel that there's a better way. There can be a pain-free athlete, for example. But embodiment, where to start? Yeah, This is always a great question. It really depends on the individual I'm working with, where you're at. You know, some people have absolutely no feeling at all. They're not aware of their energy. They don't know when their energy is dropping or when they're actually feeling expansive, or they have no idea about their digestion. Some people feel like, oh, I'm just like having a bowel motion every 2-3 days, which is not normal. You should have regular bowel motion every day, or they just didn't even realize when they have pain. They don't know. It's interesting, right? I cannot imagine that anymore because I have been, you know, I'm so connected to my body. But it really depends on where you're at. So that's where we need to look at. But it is really taking a moment in the morning. I would say it's the best way to do it, or actually throughout the day, to connect with your body and really take 1 or 2 deep breaths and be like, how do you feel? How do you act? Like really starting to create a relationship with your body, which most of us don't have. And I always tell that example like you have with your soulmate or your husband, your partner, whatever you want to call it, that you create a relationship, trust, you communicate. Because if we don't do that, what happens? We disconnect. And then a breakup happens. And that's basically what also happens with our body. And that's why we feel so disconnected.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I can really relate to that. And I think what I want to bring out in this conversation is really for the listener to understand why this matters in the context of productivity. So what does this, you know, like emBODYment, how can that help somebody, or how has it helped in the past with women that you worked with, for them to show up differently and to be more productive, to be more efficient in what they do? Like, that's obviously what the listener is here for. And I'm wondering, what would you say is like specifically, this could be outcomes if you connect better to your body?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our body is our vessel in this human beingness here on earth, right? So everything we want to do, whether it is playing with our kids, going to the beach, having a successful business, wanting to go on a holiday, receive money, whatever you want to do, you need your body, right? We know that feeling when our body is breaking down, when we are sick, or even, you know, break our leg, all of a sudden, ooh, oh my gosh, now I'm dependent on so many things, and it will disrupt your way of living, your day-to-day life, and things like that. And it is about increasing the capacity. A lot of people, when they feel, and I also belonged to that a while ago, where the thought of like slowing down is scary, right? For you as well, business owner, anyone who's listening right now, slowing down is scary because we have the fear of missing out. That is weakness. We have to push through all the time. But when you slow down, you actually increase your capacity. It's like resting. It's like after you go to the gym, you break the muscle. What happens? Recovery happens. You need to rest.
Yeah.
Recovery happens, and your muscle is growing. And that's the same thing. We are increasing our capacity. So if we are connecting more to our body, we work with our own rhythm, in whatever shape or form that may look like for you or anybody who's listening, you can handle more. You are more productive, because if you give that time to yourself, and if you actually put yourself first, which is in, you know, your body, and choose yourself as every single day, you can handle so much more. I feel like when I'm choosing myself, I just fly through the day, and whatever challenge happens, I can handle it because I have the capacity. But if I constantly override my own needs and really burn myself out to the point that my body is like achy and tired, and then shit happens in life, I have no capacity because I'm already burned out. My body is already like running on no fuel. And what do you expect then? And that's what happens. Then people get like, oh my gosh, life is so hard. Business is not going great. And then that is the cycle we always loop back into. But when you get out of it, choose yourself, you can handle so much more and have more capacity for everything you desire.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's typical that a lot of people end up at this point where the body breaks down. And that's obviously like sort of the last stage of burnout. And this is mostly when people wake up and they look at their life or at the things they do and like, this is not working. But I think these conversations are really crucial because we don't have to go all the way to that point where it breaks down. We can actually create practices, and I hope you will share more with me what that practice can look like, so that we don't actually reach there, that we function continuously and in a sustainable way. And that's really the productivity aspect that I see. It needs to be sustainable. Yes, there might be seasons where we push a little bit harder, but it cannot come to the point where everything stops, because that is a lot more disastrous than slowing down for a little bit during the day and tuning in and all of that. So yeah, what are embodiment practices that you would recommend the person to do?
Well, I mean, it also actually depends on every person again, but I would choose to, connect with your body in some shape or form in the morning. Like, I love to appreciate my body, to hug myself, to connect with it and say, thank you so much for everything you do. I feel like we don't do that. And like now again, come back to this picture of you do that to your partner, to your soulmate, or just visualize yourself, your partner is doing that to you. How do you feel? You feel loved and appreciated. And when you feel loved and appreciated, you are willing to do more. You are willing to show up, right? Because that's how it works. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm loved. I want to jump out of bed. I want to do this. And you have this energy. And this is what I would recommend with people. And most people probably feel like, oh wow, that feels weird because they are not used to this. But even if you have, for example, pain or you're tired, and like talk to your body, either talk it out loud or in your mind, it's okay, you're tired, you're doing work, because our body's never working against us. Our body's constantly communicating. And if you are humans, it's normal to be tired, but I mean, if you're constantly tired every day, then there's something that is out of alignment in your life, and that is your body telling you, hey, hello, time to reflect, something out of alignment. And it doesn't need to be anything major. It could simply be you make yourself too available to people. You're not setting your boundaries properly, which is a big theme for anybody really, but I can totally relate, and with the people I work with the women, like being really clear on your boundaries and sticking to it. And that has to do with trust. Always stick to the promises you make. When you tell yourself, okay, today I'm pushing through because I have a lot of tasks to do, but tomorrow I'm giving you a little bit more time. Stick to that promise, because if you don't do that, your body feels betrayed, and that will boomerang back. Not in a bad way. I don't mean to. That's not in a threatening way, but your body will be like, hey, our connection. Where's the trust? Same when you tell your husband, hey, we're going on a date tomorrow. All of a sudden you let him down. You stand him up.
I love that.
So that is a good practice, and it's simple. You don't need much. And then of course I would always recommend any sort of movement, whether that is going for a light walk, like doing a little bit of yoga, put your favorite song on. I love doing that in the morning. My favorite song, and I just shake it off, especially when I wake up tired or with a little bit of fear or doubt, or I have a lot to do. Shake it off. Disrupt the circuit of your body, disrupt everything, just really move it. And that can be anything, whatever you feel like doing. If you feel like you want to jump into the cold ocean, do that. If you need to go for a little while, it doesn't have to be a big thing. Literally feel what works for you and what you can do in this very moment. Because I also, for the people I work with, there's so much out there, and then it's normal, you get overwhelmed, and people think I have to do now an hour this and that. No, just start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, the image for me that came up is these little dance parties I sometimes have with my boys at the end of the day. YouTube on some silly song, and we're just all like blasting the music and singing and dancing. And it's these funny things. Like it's the thing about this is like it's the end of the day, exhausted. Like don't really have the energy to really play and have fun and all of that, and it feels like, oh, just like get to bed so I can have some quiet time. But every time we do these little dance parties, the energy is just incredible. Like you feel completely different after that. That really just like, I don't know, it popped into my mind of like, we haven't had a dance party in a while. I think I need to initiate that, because it really, when you move the body, you move the energy. And yeah, I just love that. So wanted to share
Yes,
that.
please have a dance party with them. It's amazing. And there is not random that this came up. It was just for you to have fun. And that's what I feel like when I work with people, like make it fun, like be light. And kids are amazing. They always are in the moment, and everything is joy for them, and just be playful, literally. Like nothing needs to be perfect. No perfect like workout routine or whatever. Just start moving, honestly. And just be silly, and then your body loves joy, shaking it all up, yeah, because life can be serious and challenging at times. So yeah, bring some lightness. It's very important.
Exactly, yeah. And unfortunately, with all that doing and all that working and the responsibilities we have as grown up, we often lose that lightheartedness, the joyfulness, the playfulness, and yeah, we've got to remember that. But it's interesting that you said you're not surprised that this came up, and I know you're going to sort of walk with me through some practice. So yeah, let's maybe switch there and let's do that. I'll be your example here, so that we can maybe bring a bit of practical, how that people better understand what does that look like. And I know it's very small compared to what you actually do, but yes, let's do it.
Yeah, no, perfect. I'm honored to do that. Just for people to know, usually what I do when I work with clients, and I mostly work online because I'm, nomadic and travel all the time. But what I do is I will energetically already connect with their bodies, and because like an energetic method, I will scan through the body, I will feel certain things, and then in conversation I will bring it up. And then of course when I'm also in person, I will do some energetic work, and it's usually a closed eyes process, and there's no talking because it's basically a little bit of a mixture of Reiki, doing things, whatever I channel through, I never know. But for you right now, it will be simply tuning in, and I will see what's coming up and ask you some questions. And so yeah, I already connected with your energetic field before I jumped on because I knew we will be doing that, but still we kind of drop into the moment, and I will just also close my eyes, and whatever feels comfortable for you, you can do that. And just take some deep breath in and out. Just allow yourself to be in this moment, connect with your body, just allow to happen whatever happens. Okay, I feel the first thing that came through was like something in your shoulders. Do you feel like a lot of tension in your shoulder? Left shoulder?
Not at the moment. I sometimes do when I work really long hours in front of the computer, but at the moment I think my shoulders are pretty okay.
Was there an old injury on your left shoulder?
Not that I know of.
Nothing happened there? Okay, interesting. How was your lower back? Because I was going down the spine, there was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, the lower back sometimes gives issues. Yeah, definitely, and it's been a bit sore these days. I think yesterday, for example, I did a 2-hour workshop, which was standing, and I could really feel my lower back yesterday.
Did you feel like you have to keep it all together? Like this kind of energy, like on an energetic level, you need to keep everything together. You need more support. It's all subconsciously though, you may not be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, before we recorded, I told you it's quite intense at the moment. A lot of things are happening, really good things in the business, which is amazing, but it really means that the workload has increased, and then obviously there is the family situation, and sometimes it can be a bit challenging to really have that support there because of different just differences in how we see things with my husband, and the support I wish I could get, and that is sometimes available to me. So yeah, definitely there is some tension in terms of like how to manage everything, business, family, like going on workshops, which is something that is not like in person. I'm not that used to. I do a lot of online, but in person yesterday was sort of the first time in a while, and it really felt like I wanted to do this well because it's the first time, and so yeah, some pressure there I think from myself as well to do this really well.
Yeah, so that is definitely stored in the body. I feel like a lot of tension, a lot of pressure. That's what I feel, and like it's very depicted to me as like stiff, like not, it doesn't necessarily mean you are stiff, but it's just like a lot of like holding on tense muscles. And for some reason, I don't know about your like when you gave birth to your kids, but was there something? Did you have something in your uterus? I feel like you're holding like there was pain, like something like a pain. Was there any complication? Anything you had during the pregnancy?
No. I mean, both of my births were very quick, very fast, and so both natural, but yeah, just really intense for a certain period, and just quite like, oh my God, like this is crazy, like it's going so quick. But in general, no real trauma there. The first birth, there was a bit afterwards because it was so quick. There was some tearing, and the nurse who who did the work, she was very new, and it was actually like it was a lot more intense than the birth itself. So it might be like that
Yeah,
real huge pain afterwards might be there. Like I wouldn't be surprised because that was it was just like I just gave birth and now this, like how is that possible? But that this is more painful than the actual birth. So
yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's still something stored in in your space of that there. Like just like
yeah.
nothing to, nothing big like to dig deep into, but maybe it would be worth to tune into that and actually connect with your womb space. Ask if it needed more support because, like you just said, after the birth, what was needed? Some support, like oh my gosh, you did this amazing thing, and because it happened so quick, and I was like, oh, there was then this pain coming. This, but what I'm trying to say for anybody who's listening, it's not about that when something shows up, we have to go now into deep healing work. It's about most of the things simply need to just to be seen and acknowledged, and then it will move through the body and you can let it go. But the most important thing, you can also open your eyes if you like again. The most important part is that our body needs to feel safe in order to let go.
Yeah.
If we're constantly, like you just like we spoke before, if we're constantly in survival or penetrating masculine doing energy, our body is constantly in this fight or flight response, and our nervous system is not able to regulate itself so it can actually let go. And that is what we all experience in some shape or form, and especially high achieving women, because we're constantly into doing mode, trying to keep it all together, and then our body has never the chance to express itself and really talk. And just to give people like an explanation, that was like literally just like a very superficial. I just felt into the energy, what's going on, and we could go far deeper than that, especially with your womb space. And I'm not sure if your listeners are open to that, but the work I do is also very much related to generational trauma, to ancestral stuff and lineages that we carry, and that goes far deeper. That's not even yours. So I felt for you that there was something there that could come up. But also every session is about, it will bring to the surface what you are able to alchemize in that very moment. I will never be given any information that you're not able to receive in this very moment, right? And then that's why when I work with people over a long time, we go deeper, and I'm boom, and then we can shed so many layers. Yeah, I don't know. It might be something that's coming up. It's coming up now. That means you might be ready, and you will maybe be on a journey there. But that's just what I felt in this very moment.
Yeah. Now it's interesting because I'll be honest, you're not the first person to say that. Like I said, there was a time when I was very curious about these energetic things, and the person I worked with back then, she also pointed that out. So, and I know last time I had someone on the podcast who also does some energetic work, and after the recording, she was just like, Anne, I feel like there's quite something in your hips. So obviously something in that area of my body is, you're the third person now. So I think this is definitely the sign of like, maybe dive a little bit deeper there. There might be something there. So, but it's crazy for me as somebody who has a tendency to be very much in my brain, to obviously have different people who have nothing to do and who don't know me. Like you obviously, you don't have insights into me very much apart from 2 conversations that we previously had, to point this out. So yeah, this is obviously why I want to have conversations like this on the podcast, because something is there and I find that curious and interesting and beautiful. And so I really appreciate you doing this with me. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I just would love that. I hope that this activates anybody who's listening out there to start reconnecting with your body, and remembering that nothing is wrong with your body, no matter which state you're in and how many ailments, pain, or illnesses you have. And I don't want to offend anybody, but the body's just communicating, and it's just actually doing its work always, always, even if it appears to be inconvenient for us, which we all experience, right? When it's not working that way we want it and need it, but it's not a machine.
Yeah.
It is your powerhouse. It is your vessel to do the beautiful things in this world. And it is an oracle. It holds all the wisdom you need. You just need to learn to access and remember it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. So if anybody wants to find out more about you and connect with you, what's the best place to go?
Definitely Instagram at Mia_Dins, D-I-N-S, like my last name is here. Very simple. Or my website, it's luna-mia.org. Then people can find out more about my services if they want to work with me. And I also have my own podcast, Dins Talk, Let's Talk Soul. I'm always excited about that. But yeah, these three spaces, they can connect with me. And then also, yeah, of course, I have an email, which they will find on my website. Yeah, that's
amazing. It was such a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being with me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for your trust. Thank you. And yeah, grateful.
Thank you for tuning in to Dins Talk. I hope today's conversation sparked something within you. Remember, you have the power to align with your soul, take bold action, and live a life fueled by passion. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and leave a comment if this episode resonated with you. And as always, do it, never stop. Until next time, keep claiming your fire and your power.